So, hello everyone, welcome to the IEEE SITH Research Talk Series, which is on the visionary outlook on application research, which has been organized by IEEE Symbiosis Institute of Technology Hyderabad Student Branch and Institute Innovation Council of Symbiosis Institute of Technology Hyderabad. So, with us today, we are very much honored and happy to inform you that we have with us Dr. Sambit Bakshi, who is the head of the Center for Automation Technology at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. And today, is also the distinguished lecturer at the IEEE Biometrics Council as well as with the IEEE. So today we'll be talking about the rise of biometric systems. So Dr. Bakshi, welcome to the event, and I hand over to you. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, and I welcome all the participants. And okay, just let me know whether you can see my slide or not. I will try to share my slide. Uh, yeah, just confirm whether you can see my slide or not.
Yes. We can see your slides. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So yeah, I'm just switching off my video just to ensure that the bandwidth of the audio is good. Okay. So the topic, as you can see, is the rise of biometric system. Before I jump to the topic itself, let me just tell you briefly. How we got to this topic at IEEE Systems Council to make it a distinguished lecture. Uh, this topic is very naive, and we have developed this topic for students or early career researchers or early career uh, educationist professors who have not yet decided their research area but looking for a research area. So that it's a kind of teaser. You can understand what biometric systems is in a nutshell, in a very non-technical way, and then if you get interested, you dive further to actually do research in this. So if you are an expert in biometric system and you are looking for real technical stuff, this is not the proper venue. Uh, that kind of talks are very different, and this is not what we are going to do today. If you are looking for if you are not familiar with biometric systems, you just want to know what it is and the basics, then this talk might be for you. It might, energize you to pursue research in this particular field. Okay. So, so starting with it, just I have shown three images. Can you tell who these guys are? Probably before I could spell my question and ask you, you have, your brain quickly, have given you the answer. This is Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, and Donald Trump. Very famous personalities. All of you must be knowing them. Now I will show you another three sets of images. Let's see whether you can recognize them or not. This is the next set of images, right? So what are the answer? The same people, right? Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, and Donald Trump. So what is different between the first set of image and the second set of image? First set of image is really photographs, right? Real photographs. Second set of images, this particular one is not real photographs. It consists of a drawing or might be a sketch or some items put together, something like that, right? So this is not something truly 100% in actual the persons, but you would recognize, right? Now, why I have shown you these two sets of images and have asked you the question, just to make you understand that your brain cannot tell the difference between the performance of your brain when you have seen the first three images and the second three images. Cannot tell whether there was any gap of time or something. You cannot tell. Your brain performed almost with the same efficiency. The time taken for your brain for answering the first set and the second set, you must have not found any difference for sure. So now the question that leads to from this experiment is that first is whether human brain is as fast as computer. The answer is no. If I ask you to give a question, ask you a question that multiply to very large numbers, your answer would be very slow than the computer. Might be wrong also, right? But then what you have done now, that is recognizing the people from very minimal cues, only by in the second set especially, only by looking at uh, some particular features of their face that is put together in the drawing or sketch. What you have done, computer cannot do it. Okay, so biometric is basically what you also can do. Biometric is the ability of recognizing someone, right? And you can do it. You want the computer to do it. So biometric security is all about simulating the ability of human brain to the computer. Now, the question that we are discussing here is whether a computer can recognize person not based on password or something, but based on the same way as one human being recognizes another. Like if I meet you on the road, I would say, yeah, hi, Prashant, or something like that, right? So that would be a conversation not based on I would recognize you are Prashant or you will recognize I am Sambit, based on not based on a password exchange, right? Just by seeing each other. Okay, we are talking about that kind of uh, simplified, automated biometric system, recognizing recognition system, but not between two persons. It's between human and computer. The computer is supposed to recognize the human in the same fashion. Now, if we want to do it, if you want to incorporate such ability in the computer, there are three things that is needed. And why I have written those three things: image processing, pattern recognition, and artificial intelligence in bold, because these three are fully developed subjects. And if someone wants to pursue career and research in biometric, he or she should complete first full-fledged one semester course in each of these, and then only jump to the course of biometric security. So these three courses are prerequisite of biometric, and it should be completed by a student or anyone who is going to jump for learning biometric system, right? So now let us try to understand what is necessary for a computer for recognizing someone. Just we will try to understand it with the analogy with human brain. First requirement is you should have an image of that person in your brain, in your memory. Like you could recognize these three persons because you have seen them. Now I would show you the photo of a very famous Korean pop star, but you do not follow Korean entertainment, you won't be able to recognize him, right? The whole world, or maybe recognizing him, he may be a very famous guy, but then you won't be able to recognize him. Because you have not seen him before. So first criteria is to see that person and keep one photo of that person in your memory. Like if I meet you today for the first time, my brain would click a photo of you, kind of photo of you. I will go into that discussion. Kind of photo of you. We'll put it in a database of my brain. We'll put a tag or index to it, like Prashant and Prashant's face, or Siripuri and Siripuri's face, right? That kind of tagging would be done between a word by which I will recall you and your face. That would be put in my mind. So this process is called enrollment. That is very much necessary. That is this is first condition of the biometric system or recognition system. Second is that the ability should be there in the computer, which is already there in our brain, to understand the different cues of the image. That means that I'll come to this point later. What is the third point? Let me tell. It is the computational intelligence that should also be a part of the system, which will enable me to match your previous image, what I have kept in my brain, and who I am seeing now, your live image, and match these two and tell that yes, this is Mr. X, and or to tell that no, this is not Mr. X. Okay, so this matching module is based on computational intelligence, and this module should be there in the computer, should be coded in the computer, so that it can, I mean, the computer can match between the previously seen image of the person and a current image, and can tell that okay, yes, the match is so high that it is that person, or it will tell that no, this is not that person. Okay, now going back to the second point, which I left, this one, the cues. The question is that here in the third point we have talked about a matching, right? Now what is being matched? Your previous image is being matched with your current image. If you are in front of a computer, the computer is matching your previous image that it has kept in its memory with your current image and trying to judge whether you are that person or not, right? Now the point is that is it matching image versus image, or is it matching something else? The answer is matching image versus image is not possible. Matching image versus image will mostly give wrong answer, or I mean will mostly give a meaningless answer, because let's assume you have seen me today for the first time. We meet each other, greet each other, and you remember my face. Now you are seeing me when I am in my office in a in a light of the confined room. That's artificial lighting. You are seeing me with maybe clean shaved and all, without a sunglass, with a different hairstyle, with a different attire. Maybe from a particular pose you have seen me. And then after 5 days you see me under the sun in a holiday wearing a sunglass. I have not shaved for 2-3 days. My hairstyle is also changed. My way of clothing has changed. Would you recognize me? Would you be able to recognize me if you have captured correct cues from my face? You will be able to recognize me. So the actual intrinsic features of a face has to be captured, and that has to be matched. So it is not image versus image matching, it is feature versus feature matching. One set of feature extracted from the past image, one set of feature extracted from the current live image, and this extracted feature, the process of feature extraction is also important, that I was talking in the point number 2. So your computer should have a particular module or ability of understanding that image need not be stored. Maybe you have to extract the feature. Okay, that's where pattern recognition comes into play. Hopefully you have understood all these 3 modules, though these are very simple things, but breaking it mathematically is very much important. Without breaking it mathematically, the analysis won't be so much clear. Now, as you have understood this, let us go and discuss what are the possible types of automatic authentication. By automatic, I mean computer-based authentication. Very simple. First way is by virtue of something that you know. That is called knowledge-based system, like PIN, password, or even before PIN or password was there, before the digital system was there, system was there that a particular hardware can be opened only if you know a combination of digits or values. So that is also a kind of uh, that is also a kind of knowledge based access to a particular device, right? Okay. And the second way of authentication is based on something that you have. It's called token based system. This token based system is like smart card, ATM card, debit card, or in those days, back those days when computerized system was not there, even the kings used to have the steel swords where the pattern was drawn by boiling water when when the sword was actually dipped in boiling water when the sword was made. So this pattern of bubbles of boiling water is different in every sword. As a result, every sword is unique. So based on these swords also, the kings were identified. So it's a identification of a person based on what he has, what is his possession. And the third type of authentication is based on something that you are intrinsically. It is called biometric based authentication or biometric based system, where you are authenticated uh, by some intrinsic property, by some part of your body or some behavior that is given to you by God, and then you have very less control over it to change it. You are like that. You are like that naturally. So those things are your biometric, like face, fingerprint, signature. Now, are all the body parts your biometric? No. Are all the behaviors biometric? No. There are criteria based on which you can decide whether a body part or a behavior can be labeled as biometric trait or cannot be labeled as biometric trait. There are processes that we will learn in this particular session only. But for now, let us understand all body parts are not biometric, but some are. If you are being recognized based on those, then that is called biometric system, biometric based authentication. And also, you will find that these three kinds of authentication can be merged. And sometimes you will see that uh, for higher security, two or three of them are merged, which is called multi-factor authentication, like OTP. So you are giving your password on your laptop for some system. So password is checking of your knowledge. That is the knowledge-based system. If you give correct password, then OTP will come to your phone. So that is the checking of your phone. If you are having your phone, then only you can get the OTP, and then you enter the OTP in the laptop. So when you are entering the OTP is actually checking of whether you have the phone or not. So you are being identified by whether you know the password and then whether you got the OTP in the phone or not. Okay. So based on all these, some chat is there. Okay. So based on all these, one can be authenticated. Now, if I move forward and really ask you how someone really proves each other to the real world, it is face recognition. Very simple, right? That is how our brains are, naturally designed. But then there are processes for which our brains are not designed. But if we put some attention, we do not need a computer, but then we can uh, activate those biometric systems also. Like if you see the fingerprint of two persons very deeply, with some knowledge you can tell whether two fingerprints are of same finger or not. So because fingerprints are different, so you can see two images and you can tell that yes, these two are of same finger, or you can tell that no, these two are not of same finger, right? So but you cannot remember someone by seeing someone's finger. If I show you my fingerprint, you won't be able to remember me by my fingerprint. You would be able to remember me by my face only. You won't be able to remember me by just seeing my ear, right? But you will be able to remember me by seeing my face. So in that way, we are not trained with fingerprint biometric, ear biometric, but then these are good enough that by visual observation you can tell that yes, these two ears are not same or these two fingerprints are not same. Okay, and sometimes we have the ability that yes, we see some special marks and we can identify a dead body and all, right? This is how we do it. Now in the same way, the scientists have invented that there are a lot of body parts like face, the muscle inside the eye, that is iris, the skin around the eye, that is called periocular region, fingerprint, lip, ear, signature, voice, walking pattern, that is gait, as well as even how you type on a keyboard. All these are very, very unique to every person, and all these can be biometric. Okay. No, so biometrics is the study of methods for uniquely recognizing humans based upon one or more intrinsic traits. So you may recognize someone based on only seeing someone or someone's face, or face plus voice, or voice plus fingerprint. So it can be one trait or more than one trait. Okay. So the word biometric has come from a composite of two Greek words. One is bio or biome, that means life in Greek, and metron, that means measuring in Greek. Okay, so it makes sense why the word is biometric and what it does mean. Okay, so in the history, biometrics has been mentioned from the time of New Testament. The history actually started in 1850 when Sir William Herschel actually mentioned that he can authenticate contracts based on two fingerprints and palm print. So he started doing it, and he by experiment, by actually practice on multiple people, proven that uh, proven that by visual observation, fingerprints are separate for every person and palm prints are separate. So this can be used as a biometric to disambiguate between two persons. Then came Alphonse Bertillon. He established another kind of biometric which is called anthropometry. He said he can find 9 different values. Like for one person, he can define 9 values which will be very unique for that person. So no one else can have those 9 values exactly same as that person. What are those 9 values? Some different distances between the body parts when he is standing or sitting, like his height when he is standing, his height when he is sitting, his distance between his head and shoulder, the distance between two hands when someone is stretching the hand, something like this. Okay, these were called mug shots. So he calculated 9 values, and that 9 values he used to claim as a unique set of 9 values. That is a kind of feature that he extracts from someone, and that 9 values are unique. Okay. Then in 1880, it was by Dr. Henry Ford that first mention of biometric was there in the journal Nature, when he mentioned that if someone has blood in his hand and he touches a glass, then seeing that glass from the fingerprint, that guy or the criminal can be identified. So how it would be done, he didn't mention, But then it was the start, because he mentioned that in that scientific paper, he mentioned that it can be done. It should be done. It should be able to be done. So it was in 1880, followed by Sir Francis Galton in 1890, who tried to establish the uniqueness, the degree of uniqueness of fingerprint. Let me try to explain to you what is degree of uniqueness of a particular biometric. Let's assume I tell that hair is a biometric, not hairstyle, but just having hair is a biometric. So if my experiment is on two persons, one is bald, one is having hair, then yes, hair is the separating criteria. Hair can identify both the persons. One is having hair, one is not having. So hair is the biometric for two persons. Correct? Fine. If one is bald, one is having hair. Then I say that my biometric system is not only for two persons, it is for four persons. Then hair is not going to work, because another two persons might have hair, might not have hair. Then I will say that okay, no problem, mustache is a biometric. Someone is having mustache, someone is not having mustache. Okay, up to four persons we might disambiguate with mustache plus hair. But then if there are six persons or 10 persons, I cannot do that, right? Then I may say that okay, fine. There is, hairstyle, long hair, short hair, curly hair. This might be unique for 200% or 300%. Everyone can have different hair color, different hairstyle. That is also fine. But then for a large number of people, that might also not work. Now, Sir Francis Galton tried to prove this limit for fingerprint. That is, in a room, how many people can be there? So how many people can be there under the ambit of a single biometric system, such that no two person will have same fingerprint. So he proven that biometric fingerprint is so unique that up to 64 billion people, up to 64 billion fingerprints, that is 64 billion divided by 10, 6.4 billion people. If these many number of people are there together, then also it is very, very, very less likely that two persons will have any two matching fingerprint. And he categorized the fingerprints with presence of features like arc, loop, or hole. Okay, which are very much unique, such that by existence of these, most of the work can be done. Mostly the disambiguation of two fingerprints can be done very easily with the presence of arc, loop, or hole. So after his work in 1894, Sir Edward Henry, who was not a scientist, who was a police in Bengal Police of India, he developed a system which is based on 10 fingers, and he started classifying people based on someone is having arc or loop or hole in a particular finger. Okay, so his system was called 10 finger Henry classification system, and it was so strong that by physical observation only, it can disambiguate two persons. So from 1900 to 1950, most development has gone into developing iris pattern, proving that iris pattern is a biometric. FBI started using fingerprints, but not in a digital format, but they started taking fingerprint in hard copy. Okay, in 1960, it was proven that speech is a biometric, and physiology of speech was analyzed. Face recognition was performed in a very semi-automated way, in half manual, half with the help of computer in that way. Fingerprint recognition was almost made automated. Signature recognition was made almost automated at that time, but then computer was not that intelligent, so development of biometric depended on development of natural computer systems, development of electronic systems. So development of biometrics, you can say, was always upper bounded by the development of hardware and software systems. So in 1970s, the scientists had proven that hand geometry, knuckle, speaker, dynamic signature, all these are biometrics. So different types of biometrics were proven at that time, even in 1980s also. Okay, one important thing in 1980s was that people realized that if data collected by you has to be used by me, and data collected by me has to be used by you, there should be a standard or a very defined process and standard of storage of biometric data and exchange of biometric data. Just like if you have a USB drive, I have a computer, but then your USB drive has a different shape from the port in my computer, I cannot use your USB drive. So every one of us, if we have different size of port of USB drive, data exchange won't be there. In the same way, in the digital data, same format was established for fingerprint data exchange. Okay, in 1990, it was development of, very typical iris recognition system, not, very in a very good way with low accuracy, but it was developed, and FBI developed its digital criminal database, which is called IEEE. That was developed by FBI. But then the point is that the whole attention towards biometric happened only after 9/11 tragedy, when four different attacks happened on the twin towers, and as a result, two different attacks happened. Four planes were hijacked, but the two attacked there. As a result, what had happened, that the economy of USA had fallen down. As economy of USA had fallen down, they made a commission, and that investigated what went wrong, how the hijackers could actually take hold of the aeroplanes and all. They found out that the lacuna lies in paper-based passport verification system. A paper-based passport is never something which is, a paper-based passport is never something which is very, very reliable, be it very well checked and stamped and all those things. A tough one could be biometric, the person himself. So the commission recommended entry and exit screening system. That is why immigration from USA, one needs to have biometric verification. Okay, so this was incorporated in the Intelligence Reform and Terrorism Prevention Act of 2004. After this only, it was a lot of funding was opened towards biometric research. The scientists were exposed to a lot of fund by USA after this event, but that was only fund. There was no mind-boggling proof of concept among the scientists about the overall ability of biometric. There was no mind-boggling proof that yes, biometrics can do magic. That was not there. That magic happened with a story which is far away from computer science or biometrics. It was not related to biometrics, just it is a part of photography rather. So this girl, whose name is Sharbat Gula, was photographed in 1984, aged 12, in a refugee camp in Pakistan by Steve McCurry, who was a photographer of National Geographic. And then the same photographer could find the girl, now turned a lady, after 18 years in 2002 in a remote village of Afghanistan where she was hiding. And then the photographer asked her, I have photographed you, and showed her the left photograph to the lady, and asked her whether you are that girl. She said no. But then the photographer was really convinced and confirmed that this is that girl. So, but then the lady denied. Okay. So the photographer didn't lose hope. He took resort of science. He came to Professor John Dogman, and Professor John Dogman took the two photos, and he extracted only this iris region from the whole image and found a code like this bit sequence from this iris and matched that code between the two images. And this code was called iris code. It was based on the Gabor filter, and he could prove that yes, these two persons are same. So after this was proven, it was a big news for the researcher community. That time there was no biometric researcher community. In general, it was a big news for the computer science researcher community. So what they could find is that there was some typical things in this incident, that the two photos were clicked a decade apart when the face of the girl has almost changed. Like, it is very difficult for a human being to recognize. That's good that the photographer could recognize, but it's very difficult. And the two photos were casually clicked. They were not clicked for any scientific purpose, right? Camera was different, resolution was different, lighting condition, everything different. Plus, the algorithm that was used by Professor John Dogman used less than 1% of the whole face image, only the iris. And that much is good enough. That is the power of a strong biometric algorithm applied on the proper biometric trait. If we had done face matching, we might have not got the result. If we had thought that, okay, yeah, cheek is biometric or the nose is biometric, we might have not got that result. You have to have the proper biometric trait and then the proper algorithm applied on it. If the combination is perfect, then you get such wonderful result. That is what the scientific community could learn from this. And it was the game changer. It was the game changer of the biometric research. Okay. Now I will show you some of the Hollywood movies, which were science fiction movies. Now, all these fictions are now turned to reality by biometric. There are a lot. I'm just showing some of them. Call it face recognition, thumbprint recognition, or DNA test. All these are now science. They are not fictions. But these movies represented them, as fictions only. Because at that time it was like fiction, but then after that only the science has been developed. Okay. Now I will show you one commercial which was aired in India in 2007. It was the first commercial of any laptop it was the first laptop which had a biometric based authentication system, that is login with biometric. And then this was the teaser. And then first time in a commercial pricing and for the acceptance of normal people, biometric was released. Let's see what this commercial was.
Face recognition in the new Lenovo Y series. Makes your face your password.
So this particular commercial uh, was, trying to portray that biometric, the, ability of biometric, because people were not convinced. So this commercial was psychologically, preparing people to make someone understand that uh, biometric system is strong enough. It can recognize and open the laptop. Even if your spouse may not recognize you, you may have grown long beard, your pet may not recognize you, but then the recognition software in the laptop is so strong that it will recognize you. That was the motto. And then I am going to show you another commercial which was released just after 10 years, and you see the difference. So this is a HD video. It won't play well, so I am just showing you maybe 5 seconds or so. So the objective of this particular advertisement was that you can unlock your phone with a look. You do not have to press a button. So this whole advertisement was talking about convenience. So within these 10 years, common people as a consumer of biometric system were very, very much convinced with the ability of biometric. There was no doubt of whether biometric system can work or not. That is why now at 2018, I mean, all the commercial were on how convenient this biometric system can be. Can biometric system be as convenient as without even clicking a button it will work? So that was what this question was. Okay. So my point of showing you these two commercials is to make you understand that within these 10 years, the biometric the market of biometric devices and algorithms, the net worth were increased by, I think, around 20x or 25x. Okay. And there was no doubt about the growth of biometric within only just 10 years. People were only looking for the convenience. Now there are some basic advantages of using biometric system. Very basic things. You do not need to remember passwords or pins. As you are not carrying anything, it cannot be lost, or it cannot be stolen or forgotten. Very difficult to copy, share, and redistribute or transfer to someone else. Not only copying, but after copying, transferring to another third person or fourth person, that is not possible. Like it can be possible for password or ATM card. You get from someone and you do not stop. You again tell someone or transfer to someone the card. So that transfer is not possible, and the person is required to be present for authentication if it is a biometric authentication. So that gives you an advantage of having an alibi and proof of timestamp when you are going for a legal case. Okay. And what are the disadvantages? Obviously, first is chance of violation of privacy. What is chance of violation of privacy? If your biometric is not used in proper way by the organization whom you have submitted it. For example, you use Gmail. Okay. Now the Google, let's assume somehow takes your password and uses it without your knowledge for some purpose which you do not want. Okay, what you will do? You will change that password. If you have used the same password in banking, you will change that password too, right? That much. But then if Google takes your face and starts doing something with your face, you cannot change your face. So password can be changed again and again. But if the organization to whom you have submitted your biometric for authentication for some specific purpose, if it starts doing something wrong, you have a very less scope of coming out of it, because your biometric cannot be changed overnight like a password, and you have only one face, you have only 10 fingers, you cannot change it, right? So there lies the, I mean, very dangerous chance of violation of privacy. But then that is very, very strongly backed by the, policies and governing rules and acts, and by the judiciary system. It is very, very strongly backed. If your college or your organization has taken the biometric of you, like fingerprint for attendance system, it has some liabilities. It is legally bound by default to ensure that your fingerprint is only and only used for that purpose. It is bound to ensure no stealing, no duplication, no forwarding of your biometric from the repository of your college without your knowledge. Okay, so all these rules are there. So it is not that problematic, but the chance is there from the side of technology. If you see, chance is there, but then the law backs it. And second disadvantage is biometric is vulnerable to spoof attacks. Spoof, though difficult, but someone can spoof it. You must have seen some, some artists who will copy the voice of Amitabh Bachchan or someone else, right? So that means that someone's biometric can be copied. Not by all, but some might copy, and some system might be not strong enough and can be fooled. Okay. And third disadvantage is that biometric can be changed due to pose, aging, lighting condition. So even you may not be recognized as you by a biometric system if there is a lot of change in your biometric. Okay, but then a good biometric system will ensure that that should not happen, right? And last problem is that your biometric may be damaged and may never be recovered, right? Like if you lose a finger in an accident, or you have so deep cut that your fingerprint gets changed, or there's no fingerprint in a particular finger for the rest of your life. So fingerprint biometric cannot be used by you, at least by that finger, right? So this is what are the disadvantages are. There are a lot of applications of biometric system, and there are different types of biometric systems also based on applications, as well as the what is the priority, security or convenience or time. There are different parameters based on which biometric system can be tuned. Now we are not going to those discussions in this particular small talk. And then basically government applications are like national ID cards like Aadhaar, and then in many countries, driving license and social security numbers are linked to biometric. It has not happened in India yet, but then it is in some of the countries. Okay, and voter identification, everything can be connected to biometric. What is commercial? The computer login, maybe transaction. In some cases, the banking apps would ask you for fingerprint before transactions. All those things. Forensic, I mean, it is forensic is not for a standard execution on daily to daily basis, but sometimes if for terrorist identification, criminal identification, or missing child search, if you use biometric, that kind of applications are also there. So, I mean, I will give you a typical example of maybe in five different sectors where biometric has really changed the way the society works. First, I would take the example of aviation industry, and from starting from offline check-in queues to fast check-in through biometrics. There has been a lot of development. Now, this development is not only scientifically pushed, but then it happened very naturally due to COVID, actually, at the time of COVID. And before the COVID only, there were experiments and proven, but then it was not in practice, but it happened in the time of COVID only. It can be seen that with biometric, the checking time, the verification of passport time, the processing time can reduce from 3 minutes to 1 minute. And then as a result, the waiting time, the queue time can reduce from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. So in this way, what can happen is that it can be a fast check-in system and also secured truly with the use of biometric at airports. So Dubai has gone fully biometric, and then India also is using DigiYatra, which is some part is a biometric verification through which you can skip some verifications and go directly. You try to use the app DigiYatra, you can at least skip one level of checking. You can move forward up to the BSF security check without actually your identity being checked if you are using DigiYatra. And then in banking sector also, this biometrics has brought a lot of change, like from going directly physically to bank to up to online banking and what we call this ATM cards or credit card, debit card. Now, what has happened that this card that you are using can have a biometric sensor, a passive biometric sensor. So even if the PIN is correct, even if the you have amount in your account and everything, PIN, OTP, everything is correct, until and unless your finger is there on top of this sensor, the money is not going to be transferred. So if your fingerprint is there and you swipe this or put this card to transaction, then only it will sense your data here, it will do a biometric matching, and it will understand that yes, you are present with the card at the time of transaction, and then only the transaction is going to happen. This kind of change has already been made technically possible. Visa and MasterCard has supported this, and this is technically already available, like Spain, UK, Netherlands. They have been using it, but for very costly credit cards, and not you don't see it really because you do not have this kind of sensing devices. It is not only about card, right? You do not need only the card, but the devices that will sense should have that intelligence, right? So that is, that part is missing, and that is why you do not see this kind of cards. Otherwise, it is technically very well be available. It was anticipated that there will be 2.6 billion people using this kind of card by 2023, but only half a billion people are using this kind of card today. And these are not in real common practice because of policy issues. Now, coming to the third application of biometric, it dates back to 2019. It is an ad hoc application catching a terrorist, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. This guy was hiding in some part of Syria, and then the Syrian Democratic Forces, when they were finding this guy, they only stole this person's undergarment, and from that it got some small skin particles which were subjected to DNA test, which is also called touch DNA, through which it was confirmed that yes, this guy is there. This is the guy who is there. It was confirmed that it is not his body double. Otherwise, what happens is that these people they usually have a lot of body doubles. As a result, what would happen that someone you cannot trust on regular visually observed biometrics like this kind of beard or face or hair. They will have 10 people who are having same beard, same kind of face and all, almost to save the actual guy, you know. So by help of biometric only, with a confirmed accuracy, this terrorist was neutralized. Okay. Now I'll talk about another application, which is biometrics in healthcare. If you know what is EHR, it is Electronic Healthcare Record System, which is not existing yet, but what is being prepared, which is very important aspect of multiple companies. $1 million have been invested on this particular ability, is that you should be able to put all your medical record in a single repository, and then you can enable one hospital and one doctor, maybe multiple hospitals and multiple doctors, to see your report, whom you are visiting. And then after your job is done, maybe you can again say that no, this doctor should not see my report further. Okay. So the point is that you can activate and deactivate the right to some hospital and doctor regarding seeing your medical data, which is stored in a central medical repository, maybe national, maybe private, but then it can be there. So this kind of system is called biometric based EHR, and this can only happen with biometric, because otherwise without biometric there's no safe way that you can really grant right to the hospitals. The last application that we will discuss today is panoptic surveillance. The panoptic surveillance is a kind of surveillance through which we are going without even knowing that we are going through it. Okay, like when you are driving your car, the GPS of the car is not only tracking the car but tracking. When you are switching on social media, the login record is a symbol of your presence at that moment. When you are speaking and Alexa is recognizing your voice and giving you a recommendation, it is also a proof that you are present there. So in that way, your existence at a particular location, at a particular time, is being re-established multiple times even when you do not want it to be. That is called panoptic surveillance without your willingness, or without you being given a choice to opt out of it. So this is a kind of study going on, mostly from the side of ethics and I mean how this can be controlled. That someone has a someone should have a say, ultimate say on whether he wants to be recognized or not. If I want to say that no one should know where I am going, it should be that way. But today's digital system has not left it in that way. That is the problem. Okay. So just to conclude, what's booming in today's era? So most of the researches are going on with the small capacity of the processors of the mobiles, whether things like iris recognition, whether that can be done, whether in-display or side-mounted fingerprint sensor in mobile can be used. I mean, it's a big thing, side-mounted fingerprint sensor. It doesn't seem so because we have used it, but you see, even only maybe 20% of your fingerprint is being used and you are being recognized. That's a big thing. It's not even a foot fingerprint, it's 20% of the fingerprint. Okay. And then face recognition in mobile. All these are what is booming in different biometrics. And I mean, if you go through it, you will understand that there are 7 different characteristics that are being searched to establish how and whether a particular trait will be called biometric or not, and based on that only all this research is going on. So whenever you are trying to establish a biometric system, there are these 7 properties that you need to establish. First is universality, that is everyone in the population should have it. Second is uniqueness, that is it should be very unique to everyone. No two persons should have this exact same. Third is permanence, like the biometric should not change. Now it may change over a long time, but then if it is a attendance system, it is not going to change in one day, right? Your face is not going to change between today and tomorrow. And then measurability, like it should be recorded in a digital system, electronic media. Otherwise, our body odors and all those are also very unique. But then that cannot be recorded as a sound or as a image or video. So that's how it cannot be a biometric. And then performance. One algorithm should be there, what is developed by scientific community, that works perfectly well on the proposed trait. It should work in most of the cases. If it is not working in most of the cases, then it cannot be called a trait. Someone has to develop a satisfactory level of performance by a trait, by your algorithm, and acceptability. You cannot ask someone, even if everything is proven that yes, it is a biometric, one can be recognized uniquely by that body part. You cannot ask someone, I mean, to be used if there is a social bar on usage. Like you cannot ask someone to give lip print to be recognized. You cannot ask your employees to open the shoe and give footprint every day to be recognized. For some social religious sentiments, you cannot ask someone to acquire face biometrics if it is not allowed by some religions. You cannot ask someone to give their DNA test just because to prove that they are your employee and they will get salary, right? So which biometric has to be used depends on the application. Now, if it is about national security, terrorist, then anyone will be asked, you have to show your face, you have to show your feet, you have to go through a DNA test, be there for 2 days in the custody of police until your DNA test report comes in to prove your identity. This can be done, but not for things like salary or things like very simple things like attendance and salary. If the reason is serious, this can be used. So the last point is you have to look for how strong the biometric is so that it cannot be made full. The systems are developed in such a way that they cannot be made full, but then uh, there is a dialogue in Hindi, "Baap ka bhi baap hota hai." So both the researches are going on. So you are developing strong systems. There is another research group which is developing how to spoof it. That is also good research, not a bad research. But then that is how the technology progresses, right? You will see that biometric systems are available for 2,000 rupees also, 10,000 rupees also. There must be some difference. Some fingerprint systems I have seen, they do not really detect fingerprints. Just a photo of fingerprint will also work. But some fingerprint sensors are there which will have this NIR light that they will pass and they will put through the, I mean, NIR light will automatically go a little bit inside your finger and will find the blood vein. So if you are putting a photo, there is no blood vein. The NIR light cannot actually go inside your skin if you are putting a photo. So there comes the value of that difference of 8,000 rupees. If you use a normal, one system, it will take image as your fingerprint, and in another, it will reject the image. So cost is what comes into play. So that's all from my side today, and thank you. I would love to answer if anyone has any question.
Uh, I think thank you so much, Sambit. It is clearly a detailed what you call the talk, whatever you have been talking about the biometrics. It's really interesting, actually. So I think we have a very good couple of questions, actually. It is already in the chat window. Do you want me to take it up, or else?
Yeah. I'll just see the chat and I'll
Yeah,
go
yeah.
through
Yes, yes, yes,
chat and yeah, fine.
yes.
Yeah, I have first question is I have a doubt that can we say voice is biometric, but there are people who may have same voice rate. Yeah, right. I mean, our last point was on how biometric can be fooled. Now then, let's assume the way you are telling same voice. Now, it also depends on algorithm. Many people may have almost same voice, but then what I perceive to be same, a computer might be intelligent enough to separate that, right? For my ear, two voices are the same. So I am telling that a voice is not a biometric. But then there are computer algorithms which are very good enough that they will tell that no, these two are from two different persons. Okay. So yes, none of the biometric systems are 100% accurate, but the amount of people we think that are having same voice is not also true. To the resolution of our ear, yes, many people have same voices. To the resolution of the computer, what algorithm computers do have today, many voices do not have same. Many people do not have same voice. They are very distinct. Okay. Hope I could answer your first question. Second question is that, sir, has we know that Gen AI improving day by day, then Gen AI is trained through pattern of human behavior pattern. If train a model with a fingerprint pattern, it can generate patterns of person. Can you say how can we rectify that and detect those? I couldn't get your question clearly, but what I can understand, you are telling that seeing one fingerprint, how can I tell that this is generated by a computer or this is a natural fingerprint? Hopefully that is your question. If that is your question, it's a separate research topic to identify whether one image is generated by computer or a natural one. Our question in biometric is, I am given with two images, not one image. Whether these two images are of the same finger of the same person, or these two are two different fingers. That is biometric. This is not biometric. There is what you are telling is also a research, but a separate research. Okay, whether it is a natural image or a synthetic generated image, that research is also going on, but then that is not what is under purview of today's discussion. Third question is okay. Can strong passwords and pins still offer better long-term security than biometric methods? Yes, strong password and pins may offer. First, how it can offer is you do not need another sensor in your computer or your mobile. So first important thing is that. Second thing is that password or pin, these are very easy to be portable from one device to another. Your password in one device, you set what you have set up in one device, you can use that in another device, right? But that is not that easy in case of fingerprint or any biometric. I have a mobile phone of let's assume OnePlus. I have already registered my fingerprint. Now it has not captured my fingerprint due to security. It has captured some features, which is, not open source, which is their own copyrighted algorithm. Now that so if I have logged into some system using the sensor of my this phone, I cannot open that system from another system using my fingerprint, because that won't be able to uh, generate the same feature what this phone has generated. Okay, so always, due to the problem which is not solved, the problem of the standard between generating the feature from biometric system, that is why still password and pins are well used and better also. And then the question is that, is there any pattern in human that won't change on aging? Iris, it won't change 100% before your birth. When you are in your mother's womb, the eye is fully developed, 100% developed, and it will be exactly as it is even after, I think, 18 hours after your death, without almost any damage. So no change, even not size. It is not that a baby has small iris and with age the iris is growing. No, it's exactly same. Then the next question is, if someone has a cut or injury on their finger, will the fingerprint scanner still be able to recognize it, or will it fail to work? See, it depends on how good algorithm has been written. It is just a few time back I was talking about the the cost of fingerprint device. Okay, in the same way, there are fingerprint. The device is not only device, right? The device is also the device is also the algorithm. What is there? That also has cost associated. Good algorithm may work with a scar and all. It may have detection system. It all fully depends on the algorithm. Okay. And okay, so that was the last question. Is there any other question? Okay.
So, Sambit, thank you so much, first of all, for giving that detailed overview as well as the clear-cut research outline in the biometrics, actually, because it's completely evolving and still people need to explore more. So, first of all, thank you so much for your time, and instead of your busy schedule, you were able to make it up. So, please accept this token of gratitude from our side on behalf of Symbiosis Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, as well as from the IEEE student branch of the Symbiosis Institute of Technology. So we would like to kindly accept this token of appreciation from the SITH Research Talk Series.
Thank you so much. If anyone wants to, do any research in biometric and wants to get in touch, please get in touch with me, and we will build a good community. That's all. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Good night.
Thank you, Sambit, and thank you so much. So, dear participants, I have already shared you the feedback link in your chat window. Kindly give us a feedback. And also, I would like to inform you that on Monday, that is on sorry, not Monday, coming 19th, that is on the Thursday, we are going to have the another talk by Professor Justin Wallace, who is the associate professor from Guelph, Netherlands, who is the distinguished lecturer from the IEEE Signal Plus Society. We'll be talking about the AI for psychiatry. So we wish you all join it back. So thank you so much.